he acts like someone who doesn't care about our democracy. He acts like someone who wants to be a dictator. He acts like someone who doesn't care for the Constitution. In fact, he's even said himself he'd be willing to suspend the Constitution if an election wasn't going in his direction.
And Donald Trump has told us exactly what he will do. He will not abide by the rulings of the courts. He will certainly appoint people to office, whether or not they can be confirmed by the Senate. He has talked about using the military in terms that really are fundamentally un-American, including here in the United States. So it's a very dangerous moment, and it's a moment for people to understand that cannot be the path that we go down as a country. He's so dangerous. If you have a president who is unwilling to abide by the rulings of the courts, who's unwilling to uphold the Constitution, then there are no guardrails who can stop him.
You've said we're sort of sleepwalking into dictatorship in the United States. Dictatorship. Is that what we would have if we reelect Donald Trump?
I think it's a very, very real threat and concern.
Two prominent Republicans warning us about how a second Trump presidency could very well sink American democracy as we know it for good. That they are the town criers cautioning the rest of us is an indication of just how much trouble lies ahead. Remember, Chris Christie stumped for Trump, and he desperately wanted to be part of his administration.
I can guarantee you that the one person that Hillary and Bill Clinton do not want to see on that stage come next September is Donald Trump.
Cheney is being praised for standing up to Donald Trump. She did just that, which cost her a leadership position and ultimately her job in Congress when she voted to impeach him for his actions on January 6th. But remember, Cheney refused to vote that way during Trump's first impeachment for trying to shake down the Ukrainian president by withholding aid. Heartless. In exchange for a political hit job on Joe Biden. Still, as it stands, Cheney and Christie are what we're left with, outspoken members of the institutional Republican Guard in an endless tug-of-war with their MAGA replacements.
A vote for Donald Trump is unconstitutional, anti-American.
Well, he won't support and uphold the Constitution. We've already seen what happened.
But do you believe if Donald Trump were elected next year that he would try to stay in office beyond a second term? That he would never leave office?
There's no question.
You think he would try to stay in power forever?
Absolutely. You cannot count on a House of Representatives led by somebody like Mike Johnson to stop this president. You can't count on a Senate of Josh Hawley's and Mike Lee's to stop Donald Trump.
He's got 91 counts of an indictment against him. The day before Super Tuesday, he's going to start a criminal trial where his former chief of staff and one of the founders of the Freedom Caucus is going to testify that he committed crimes on his watch and was directed to commit crimes by Donald Trump.
The answer to Margaret Brennan's question is they don't care to even consider the doom and gloom Christie and Cheney and others are pushing because Donald Trump, they believe, has their interest at heart. Another Trump presidency will be good for them. They are that short-sighted. And it may be too late now anyway. Republican royalty like Senator Mitt Romney and reportedly some of his colleagues recognize that the war against Trump may already be over.
Almost without exception, they shared my view of the president, Romney told Coppins. Every time he publicly criticized Trump, it seemed, some Republican senator would smarmily sidle up to him in private and express solidarity. I sure wish I could do what you do, they'd say, or, gosh, I wish I had the constituency you have. After the impeachment managers finished their presentation, Romney walked by Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell. They nailed him, the Senate Majority Leader said. Romney, taken aback by McConnell's candor, responded carefully. Well, the defense will say that Trump was just investigating corruption by the Bidens. If you believe that, McConnell replied, I've got a bridge I can sell you. One Republican congressman confided to Romney that he wanted to vote for Trump's second impeachment for the January 6th insurrection, but chose not to out of fear for his family's safety. You can't do that, Romney recalled someone saying. Think of your personal safety, said another. Think of your children. The senator eventually decided they were right.
I mean, this is just crazy stuff. You're Liz Cheney. Right. You were previously known as one of the most conservative members of Congress. You're the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney, and you're saying it would be safer for the country if Republicans weren't in control of the House?
I think what we have seen is that you cannot count on this group of elected Republicans to uphold their oaths to the Constitution. Certainly, I hope that the Republicans don't nominate Donald Trump.
But if they do?
But I will never vote for Donald Trump, and I will do whatever it takes to make sure that Donald Trump is defeated
including
in 2024.
a vote for Biden?
I will do whatever it takes.
It's time to address the faux populism of Trump, too. It's all smoke and mirrors. He pretends to be drafted by the people, doing the people's bidding, while ultimately betraying them as he works to become a dictator who could care less about his foot soldiers. What so many believe will be good for them a second time around, somehow still they don't realize how he harmed them the first time around. There are countless examples, but isn't just one enough? He led scores to the COVID slaughterhouse, all because he wanted to pretend a pandemic couldn't happen on his watch. Consider this, members of the Republican Party are known for sticking together and keeping dissent in-house. So it's important and pretty unprecedented to see Republicans raising such an alarm here about one of their own.